Hello, my name is Axel and I'm a Davis Dyslexia Correction Facilitator. I help adults and children with learning, and normally over 5 days we sort out dyslexia. And we also address dyscalculia, math problems, dyspraxia, hand and eye coordination problems, and ADHD, attention mastery, and even autism. And I wanted to tell you about Sami, who is one of the most challenging clients I've ever worked with. She was 21 years old when she came to me, and she had limited language and no reading skills. She did not recognize a single word on a page, and she did not, in fact, recognize a single letter of the alphabet. It turned out she was on the autistic spectrum, and I wasn't sure if I could help her.
They all told me she had developmental delays, I knew that. But most concerning of all to me was her inability to speak. She did, however, have an imaginary friend who she spoke a really, really strange language to. And this friend stayed around for many years. Speech therapy was intense, as was every other therapy known to man. And I tried alternate as well as conventional. From birth, I kept her off all food that was not natural and as far away from sugars and wheat and dairy, so she was on goat's milk. At 7 years old, I was told by every school that she went to that she was unteachable. In fact, I was told that I had to institutionalize her. Special needs mothers live every day waiting for that phone call from the school. That day that your child needs to leave, that they are unacceptable and unteachable, and that you have no place in society and that you are not worthy. What Sammi taught me was that language doesn't need sentences. I kept a dictionary on her gorgeous words, we call them Sammi-isms. For instance, a sandalaria is a chandelier. A bafmapeda is a pafeda. Okay. I can go on, and I just love her language.
So the first thing I did was to set myself a challenge. If I could help her recognize 4 letters of the alphabet in 2 hours, then I thought I might be able to help her. So that's what I tried. And after 2 hours, I hadn't fully taught her all 4 letters of the alphabet, A, B, C, and D. So I felt a little bit deflated and not sure about taking her on. But her mother was amazed and elated and said, "That's more than anyone has ever done with her. So let's do the program." And even on the first day of the program, she still hadn't fully learned A, B, C, and D. Now just put your mind's eye on the point.
Okay.
And look at the letters.
Yeah.
And tell me, and touch them and say the name.
A, B, C, D.
Yeah, can I hear that again?
A, B, C, D.
Yeah. And can you do it starting from the other side?
B, good. C, no. C, D, E, F.
On the second morning, Sami knew 5 letters.
A, B, C, D, E. E, D, C, B, A.
Perfect. Well done.
As she grew, so did her frustration levels. Her baby tantrums became monster meltdowns. I then knew we were dealing with a very different kind of beast than what I was used to. I had dealt with apraxia and aphasia from Justin's brain injury, but this was a super cocktail that I was dealing with. Not only did she lash out at others, but as she got older, she started harming herself, scratching her face, biting her hands, and afterwards she would be absolutely devastated and ashamed. These tantrums were not naughty natural tantrums from not getting what she wanted, like a sweet in the line at Woolworths, but the most unlikely places for no reason. Shopping centres, busy markets, any social environment that included any kind of noises, a combination of different sounds and too much visual activity. Total sensory overloads. I found a pediatric psychiatrist when Sammi was 9, and after assessing Sammi, she eventually gave me what I knew all along, and that was that Sammi was autistic, and that her anxiety levels were so high that she was almost non-functional. She prescribed a whole bunch of meds and sent us on her way. The meds had the most awful side effects and never did what they were supposed to do. However, as we mothers do, because we're desperate, we listen and we do. The meltdowns were so horrific and so frequent, and always at home, after school or a social outing or whatever, there is nothing that I could do to stop them or delay them. And as she got older, the doctor put her on Concerta. That was the most horrific experience because she beat up her 6-foot-plus father, who's really well built. But she never laid a hand on me. I took her off immediately and hunted for a GP. I wanted full bloods and records kept on her cortisol and insulin levels and any other chemical processes. I found an incredible GP. Her name was Dr. Heidi Frere. She's a mother, which for me was quite important, and a very empathetic woman who really listened to me and my worries, and Sammi was prepared to go to her. So every 6 months, Sammi would go for full blood tests. Her cortisol levels were always close to 600, which is just bizarre. And her insulin fasting levels were around 6.1. No matter what meds she was put on, we could not get a grip on her anxiety or her sugar levels. I spent hours in bookshops and online looking for the answers to all my questions. We spent hundreds of thousands of rands trying every conceivable drug and therapy. I eventually opened my own school at our home in Sandton called Journey School of Arts for Special Needs Children, and channeled all that I had learned from Justin's brain injury and all his issues to Christy with her ADHD and dyslexia, and all of Sammy's issues into the curricula. I found an amazing online education system called Time for Learning, and it's an American system for homeschooling that used animation and audio to teach subjects across the board. And Sammi had a Dragon software, which was downloaded onto her computer, and everything was read to her through her headphones. She thrived using this system, but still there was no reading. And I had tried every single reading system known to man. I understand Sammi. She's delightful, and she's taught me all that I know. She wants a life of fulfillment, she wants a great love, and she wants to contribute to society. But what she wants most of all is to read. So I got back on the internet, I put on their little thing on Facebook. Has anyone worked with a semi-verbal, dyslexic, illiterate, autistic? Oof. So, and expecting nothing, I went along my business, and then Axel Goodmanson got hold of me. And he said, I think I can help. A few weeks later, we were on a plane again, this time to Kommetjie in Cape Town. And Axel, he's a Davis dyslexia facilitator. And he'd been taught by Ronald Davis, who wrote the book, The Gift of Dyslexia. And he himself is autistic and dyslexic. I went there expecting nothing, just as I've done my whole life. You go and you do and everything, and yeah. So I didn't expect anything. You go because you pray that something will unlock and something will shift, and you know. And it landed up being the most profoundly insane, exciting time of my entire life. He had never worked with anyone quite as badly dyslexic as Sammi. He understood and connected with her on a level that was beyond me. He'd asked me to sit in on the process, and I declined because, you know what? I needed alone time. So while he was working with Sammi, I walked those beautiful beaches and I prayed. And my prayer has always been the autism prayer, you know. It's give me strength. So Axel worked with Sammi from 8 in the morning to 4 in the afternoon. And for the first 3 days, it was a nightmare. And she'd come home and she'd have huge meltdowns and be miffed and grumpy. And and I needed a lot of glasses of wine. But on the third day, something shifted.
W, X, Y, Z. Z, Y, X, W.
Well done. Ready?
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, P.
Oh, there. That one is, and there's a trick in this one. So we need to work on that one. Then put the P there, and the N there. Okay. Are you ready for another one?
Yeah.
Mine's on the point?
Yeah. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, V.
That one trips you up again.
J,
Yeah.
R,
O.
O,
D.
D, W,
Y.
Y,
Jody.
Jody.
By the sixth day, my child was reading, and I have a video evidence on my Facebook blog.
T, H, E, the fat, no,
Yeah.
fat cat sat on the box. The
Check that again.
I
Yeah.
like my mom.
Woohoo! Well done.
And she has never had a meltdown since. That's 2 years. 2 years. That changed everything, and I'll show you the most important thing that it changed. So that's Sammy's blood tests. Through the years, her blood tests. And you can see the insulin fasting level is 11.6 over there, and it went down to 6.1. And right through the 3 years before, her cortisol levels were nearly 600, and they went down to 290. After Axel, everything changed in my child chemically. Her cortisol levels went right down, her insulin levels went right down, and Dr. Heidi Fred had been doing these tests with her, and she said to me on the last one, she said, Kim, something's shifted, what have you done? And I told her what I'd done, and that was Axel.
This video was produced by Gifted Dyslexic, and for further information please visit our website www.gifteddyslexic.com. We are licensed by the Davis Dyslexia Association International, and for more information on training and interventions globally, please visit our international website www.dyslexia.com.